Okay, this is Harold's Prog Rock Show part 34, entirely dedicated to Dutch prog rock albums. This is the Dutch prog rock album top 40. Okay, let's all bands from the Netherlands. Okay, let's start with Earth and Fire. This is my number one. Earth and Fire, Song of the Marching Children. On this album we have lots of mellotron, lots of keyboards, lots of guitars, and the main members are Journey Kaagman on vocals, Chris Koert on guitar, and Gerard Koert on keyboards. It's a great album, a real classic. I like it. Song of the Marching Children. The song is in fact 20 minutes long, and it's very good. Okay, then we have another one by Earth and Fire, that's Atlantis, and on this album we have Maybe Tomorrow, Maybe Tonight, the hit single. Atlantis is the title track, and it's 17 minutes long. Again, lots of keyboards, lots of guitars. Great album, Atlantis by Earth and Fire. Okay, then we go to number 3, Earth and Fire, To the World of the Future. It's a great album, and on this album we have the hit singles Only Time Will Tell and Love of Life. A great album, To the World of the Future by Earth and Fire. Okay, then we have Focus with Hamburger Concerto, my number 4, and Hamburger Concerto is 20 minutes long. It's a great track, very progressive, a real classic. And on this album we have also La Cathédrale de Strasbourg. It's really great, and Harem Scarum also really great. In the band we have the main members Thijs van Leer on flute, keyboards and vocals, and Jan Akkerman on guitar. On this one also Colin Allen on drums, and Bert Ruiter, the late Bert Ruiter, who died half a year ago, on bass. Then we have Moving Waves. Moving Waves is with the hit single Hocus Pocus, number 1 hit around the world, and the long song Eruption, 20 minutes long. It's a great song, a great album, a real classic, Moving Waves. Then we go to Trace. Trace is a band which was in fact the Dutch version of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and the band was the main member was Rick van der Linden, and on keyboards and church organ, and then we have Jaap van Eyck on bass and Pierre van der Linden on drums. Pierre van der Linden was also in Focus. Okay, this is the first album, and it's simply titled Trace. It's a good album with very, very powerful songs, and if you like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, you can try Trace. The second album is called, from Trace, is called Birds. And on this album we have Ian Mosley on drums. Ian Mosley later on recorded albums with Steve Hackett and is now a long-time member of Marillion. Okay, that's Ian Mosley. It is also an album with lots of keyboards and a church organ. Very good. Birds from Trace. Second album from Trace. Then we have Alpine with The Mountain Queen. That's the second album from Alpine, of course from the Netherlands. Very good, a real classic. I can recommend Alpine with The Mountain Queen. Then the third album from Alpine, Nobody Can Wait Forever. It's a great album. On the cover we see the train station of Haarlem in the Netherlands. It's a great album. Nobody Can Wait Forever from Alpine. Then we have a band from the 80s with a 70s sounded album. It's Coda with Sounds of Passion. The leader of the band is Eric de Vromen, and the long song is Sounds of Passion, 20 minutes long, and it's a great song with lots of keyboards and a church organ. Very, very good, very melodic, very progressive. Okay, then we go to Kayak. Kayak is the band from Tom Scherpenzeel on keyboards and Pim Koopman on drums. Pim Koopman died a few years ago. Both wrote songs for Kayak. And on this album, simply titled Kayak, the second album from 1974, we have the hit single Wintertime, and we have the great progressive tracks They Get to Know Me and Trust in the Machine. A great album, a real classic. Then we have the first album, CC the Sun, also very good. And the most progressive song is written by Pim Koopman, and it's called Lovely Luna. Then we have Royal Bad Bouncer. It's also a great album from 1975. And we have The Last Encore, also very good, from 1976. Then many years later we have Merlin, Bard of the Unseen. A good album, a modern classic. A few years ago they released the studio album number 17, and the album is titled 17, and it's a great album, really progressive. Then we have another band called Super Sister, and Super Sister is the band around Robert Jan Stips, Sascha van Geest, Marco Vrolijk and Ron van Eck. And this is the first album, Present from Nancy. It's a really great album with also some funny tracks. Then we have To the Highest Bidder. To the Highest Bidder is really good, a real classic. I really like it. Then we have Pudding and Gisteren. Pudding and Gisteren, a great album. Then we have Flight with Dawn Dancer. It's from 1979, and it's in fact a combination from members from the Netherlands and members from Belgium. It's a classic. Flight, Dawn Dancer. Then we go to number 21. That's Actin Heath with The Killing Silence. It's released on the SE Music label, and it's an album from the 90s. And it's a good album, really good, very melodic. Then we have Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger is the band from Rini Huygen, Gijs Koopman, Hans Bonk, and sorry, I've forgotten that. And this is Cold Steel, and this is the first album, and it's a really good album. Sometimes a little bit difficult, but when you listen to it sometimes after each other, then you will like this album, Cold Steel. The second one is Not to Be or Not to Be, and on this album we have a long song, Ragnarok, and The Artist. And The Artist is an emotional song, and it is a song written by Rini Huygen, and it's a song about losing your parents because they are no longer here or have died. The other member of Cliffhanger is Dick Heiboer. Dick Heiboer was on keyboards. Okay, then we have Mirror Side, also a good album from Cliffhanger. They made 4 studio albums, and I show in this particular show, I show you the first 3 albums. After that, we have Night Area with The Sun Also Rises. On Night Area, we have 2 members in the beginning from Cliffhanger, Gijs Koopman on bass and Rini Huygen on guitar. Then we have the second album from Night Area, and this one is called Under a New Sign. Night Area makes still music. They made 8 albums, and this year they released D-Day Part 2. It's still good music, good progressive rock. Then we have Ariel. This is the first album. The band from Ariel Anthony Lucassen, and this is from 1996. And this one is called The Final Experiment. It's a very good album. All albums from Ariel are good. He's still making new albums. This is Into the Electric Castle. That's a double studio album. Also very good, real classic. Before Ariel Anthony Lucassen, the guitar player, the leader of the band of Ariel, was in Pythagoras and made the album. That band made the album After the Silence. It's a good album. This band made 2 albums, and this is the first one, After the Silence. A good album. Then we have another band, Fringe, also from the Netherlands. Glory of the Inner Force is the first album from 1975. And in this band are Clem Determeijer, Peter Vink, Beer Klaassen, and the leader of the band, Joop van Nimwegen on guitar. It's all instrumental music, no vocals. They made 3 albums. This is the second one, Beyond Expression. Also good. And then the third one, Galleons of Passion. Okay, then we have a Dutch band from the beginning of the 80s. It's called, they are called Taurus. And this one is Illusions of a Night. It's a good album. And if you like Genesis, during the period selling England by the pounds, The Lamp Lies Down on Broadway, and later on Trick of the Tail and Winter and Wuthering, then you can then you will like Illusions of a Night from Taurus. There's another album from Taurus, and that's called Works 1976-1981. Also good. Then we have Within Temptation with Mother Earth, and the leader of the band is Sharon Den Adel, and she's singing, she's doing the vocals. And on this one is the famous hit single Ice Queen. It's a really good album. Last studio album from Within Temptation is Resist, and that's also a good one. In fact, all albums from Within Temptation are good. Then we have After Forever with the album Deceiver. On this album are also vocals which you call grunts, and on this album Floor Jansen is singing. They made 5 albums, and this is the best one, Deceiver. And after Floor Jansen left, After Forever stopped playing music, Floor Jansen went to Nightwish. And she's actually singing on the last 2 studio albums from Nightwish. Okay, then we have The Gathering with Mandelion from 1995. And it's a good album. Also with a female vocalist. Then we have Epica, also with a female vocalist. And this one is called Consigned to Oblivion. And on this album there are also grunts vocals. Then the whole thing in the Netherlands started with the band Exception. This is my number 40, and this is my number 40. Exception 3, the third album, and it's from the beginning of the 70s. And in this band, the leader was Rick van der Linden, who died some 14 years ago, and later on started a band called Trace, and Trace is also in my top 40. I've mentioned those albums before. Okay, Exception is with keyboards and also trumpets. And if you like The Nice, then you will like Exception. The Nice was the band with Keith Emerson before he formed Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So if you like The Nice, you can try Exception. This is Exception 3. Okay, that was Harold's Prog Rock Show part 34, the Dutch prog rock album top 40. I hope you like the show. Give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you. Bye.